What's up, guys? It's your boy on bikes. I want to talk about a subject today that could be quite controversial, might ruffle a few feathers. I believe it's widely misunderstood, and hopefully this video could be informative and educational to some of y'all, or simply confirm some suspicions that some of you may already have. And that subject is the subject of, I keep saying subject too much. That's not the subject. The subject is high test gasoline. And yeah, so I'm just going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about, because I hear people ask me sometimes, like, should I run high test gasoline in my bike, or should I run high test gasoline in my car? Or, you know, a friend of mine told me that I should be running high test gas in my car. And honestly, guys, like, the truth is that's not always the case. Or some people think that some people, I've heard, how many of you have heard this one? Yeah, I just figured I'd treat my car to a little TLC by running some high tests through it, clean it out, or something along that line. Well, the truth is, guys, high test fuel, it doesn't burn any cleaner. It doesn't clean your engine out. It doesn't make more power unless it's being used in an application in which it's necessary for that engine to make more power. So I guess we'll talk about that a little bit. Instances in which it may be necessary to run high test fuel. Actually, let's just talk real quick about what high test fuel is, and basically the octane rating explained. So octane rating, I don't know like the scientific mumbo jumbo behind it. I'm gonna shut my visor. It's a little cold out today, guys. Don't know if you could tell. But the octane rating is basically a rating to help describe the volatility of a fuel. And by volatility, I just mean how much energy it takes to trigger a chemical change in that fuel, i.e. combustion. Because when things burn, they go from being one element to the molecules being split in half and sometimes binding with each other in different ways to create other elements. Like, for example, water it's hydrogen and oxygen. And you can actually split that with enough energy. You can split that water molecule back into its base elements, hydrogen and oxygen. You can do it through electrolysis, but that's a different story for a different day. So when you burn gasoline, you ignite it, it burns, it turns into other things, like, I don't know, carbon dioxide maybe? I'm not sure. But let's see if I can maintain my train of thought here. My windscreen's getting fogged up, so that's no good. Anybody behind me? No. I'm just looking because I'm going slow, because it's pretty cold out. It's a lot colder than I thought it was going to be. So anyway, yeah. Octane rating is basically a rating given to fuel to describe its level of volatility. So, how much energy does it take to ignite it and burn it, release its energy in the form of heat, and make your engine run. So a lower octane rating is a more volatile fuel. I guess I'll go this way. A lower octane rating is a more volatile fuel. It takes less energy to ignite that fuel. Now, things that, potential energy sources that can ignite your fuel charge in your engine are spark, obviously, because you got a spark plug, unless it's a diesel, in which case it's compression, and heat. So spark, compression, and heat are all energy sources which have the potential to ignite an intake charge. I'm sorry I keep opening my windscreen and shutting it, but I want to keep it closed because it's so cold out, but I keep fogging up and I can't see. Anti-fog windscreen my ass, Icon. No, it's not Icon's fault. It's my fault for cleaning the inside of this windscreen with the wrong stuff, probably. So the anti-fog, because it worked really good when I got it last winter for Christmas, and I did some winter riding, and it didn't really fog up. You could see where the water would condense on the windscreen from my breath, but it wouldn't fog up, so I couldn't see. It would just accumulate on the inside, like way down low. It would just kind of bead away or something. But yeah. So, spark, compression, and heat. So, basically, if you have an excess of any of those three elements, you run the risk of pre-detonation. If you've got too much spark advance, like if you got too much timing, you can pre-detonate. If you've got too much compression, you can pre-detonate. And if you got too much heat inside your engine, you can pre-detonate. So all those elements are typically things that we associate with high performance engines. You know what I mean? We got a lot of spark timing, we got a lot of compression, there's a lot of high internal temperatures going on in this thing, in the case of like turbos and stuff like that. Or just older engine designs that don't cool as efficiently, like I'm gonna be honest, like V-twins, like Harley Davidson V-twins, they're air cooled. And if you're not moving, sometimes they can get pretty warm, and that excess heat can cause pre-ignition of your intake charge and cause knocking. So basically, if you're just driving a regular car, what's up guys? If you're just driving a regular car, chances are you don't need to run high test fuel. I mean, and if your owner's manual says run high test fuel, it's probably a good idea. So let me think real quick. Okay, so if you have a regular car that just runs regular fuel, just has regular fuel requirements, you can run, 87 in it or whatever, minimum, the least expensive pump gas. And you go ahead and you decide you're going to run some premium in it to do yourself a favor or to do the car a favor, whatever the case may be, you're really not doing anything, because first of all, that higher test fuel is going to require more energy to set off. So if that engine is optimized to run on cheap pump gas and you're running expensive high test gas in it, there is a good chance that it may not run right. There's a good chance that you're not going to get as complete of a burn. You're not going to burn your full intake charge as efficiently as you want to, because you don't have the energy available to be able to ignite that charge. And you're not doing anything. You're just throwing money away by running high test gas in your 1996 Ford Escort. You know what I'm saying? It's not cleaning your engine out. It's not doing any of that stuff. You're really just wasting money, and you're gaining absolutely zero benefit. If not, minimal negative consequences because of that. I'm not saying you're going to hurt your engine. You're probably not going to hurt your engine. But you're not doing yourself any favors at all. You're not doing any good by running high test gas in an engine that doesn't require it. Now on the flip side, my hands are real cold, guys. Holy cow. It's real cold out today. On the flip side, if you have an engine that says specifically like high test fuel only, or like 91 octane only, and you decide you're going to run cheap gas in it, that can lead to pre-detonation, which is basically, in layman's terms, pre-detonation is just the excess forces acting on that intake charge and igniting it before the spark wants it to, before the computer wants it to, or before the ignition system sends a spark to the plug and says, ignite. That can lead, yes, pre-detonation is a bad thing. And what can happen is you can blow your rings out, you can cause other problems, you can blow head gaskets, you can cause a lot of excess wear on your bearings and stuff, and it's just not good. So don't cheap out. If you need to run high test in something, definitely do it. I mean, it could be worth an experiment if you've been running 91 in your motorcycle or something like that, and you want to try and run some 89 octane fuel in it. I would try it, but I wouldn't fill the tank all the way with it, because if you do start, I'll tell you a story in a second, but if you do start experiencing some knocking or anything like that, make sure there's enough room in your tank to where you can top back off with premium and hopefully negate that. My old Fireblade, my 954, in the wintertime and in the early spring and fall, when the weather was cooler, I could run 89 in it, but it didn't really like it. But in the summertime, if it was really, really, really hot out and I was in stop and go traffic, even on 91, sometimes I would get knocking, if I was leaving a stop sign or something like that. So, hope this was educational, guys. I hope you guys learned something. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe. This has been fun. You guys have been great. I've been your boy on bikes, and we'll see you next time.